I am all about being frugal, but sometimes in an effort to save money, we might be doing more harm than good. I recently came across this article posted by the Community State Bank. It's a small bank in Oklahoma whose old-timey logo makes it look like a great place to buy some molasses and a sack of cornmeal. And this article was about 7 frugal habits that aren't actually good for your finances. And I do think some of these are spot on, but others are just kind of whack. So in today's video, we'll go through this list to see which frugal habits are actually great money savers and which ones really could do more harm than good. Okay, let's take a look at the first habit on the list: driving miles to different stores to get good deals. The article says, once you factor in the cost of time, gas, and wear and tear on your vehicle, any savings you once incurred are wiped out. I get what they're saying here, but I don't think it's so black and white. There is definitely a place for this if you do it the right way. For example, for me, I get most of my groceries at Walmart, but I do get my meat at Aldi. And this works great for me because I'm fortunate enough to have both of these stores within a couple miles of where I live. So I'm not spending a lot of extra time and gas money. But yes, if you are driving to 5 stores for 5 different items, this makes 0 sense and you're wasting time and money just to feel like you got a good deal. So just use common sense with this one because it could be a waste of time and money if you're too obsessive over a couple cents difference, but it could also be a great thing depending on your situation. Okay, I do agree with this one. Driving to another town for gas is pretty dang extreme. Down the road, it's fine. A few minutes out of the way to get Sam's Club gas, that's pretty good too. But if you have to stop at a gas station to use the bathroom on your way to another gas station, then obviously that's a bit much. Let's say you can save 10 cents a gallon at a gas station 15 miles away. If you drive there and put 10 gallons of gas in your car, you are only saving $1. Do you really want to spend like half an hour driving just to save $1? To me, not worth it. But if you want to save money on gas at locations closer to you, a better option might be to just use apps like Upside or Gas Buddy to help you save money and find the cheapest fuel around you. I remember using this in college when I didn't have a Sam's Club membership yet. I always used Upside. And mainly Circle K's were in my area and they all had the same deal from Upside. It was like 12 to 15 cents off per gallon. Not bad. If you want to check them out, I'll drop a link in the description below to make it easy for you. Okay, next up, buying items only because they're on sale. I actually love this line from the article. If you spend $5 on something you don't really need, you spent $5 too much. Oh, good old Community Bank is dropping some bars on their website because this is spot on. Now, of course, I always prefer to buy things when they're on sale, but I don't buy things just because they're on sale. When there's something I need, it's always a good idea to check the clearance section first to see if I can get it at a good deal. But I'm not coming home with 15 cardigans that I'll never wear just because I was lured in by the siren song of the sale rack. They'll get ya. Okay, the next frugal habit on the list: buying in bulk when you don't really need to. I think this one is pretty good advice. Buying in bulk makes sense for some people, but it may not be right for you depending on your situation. For one, not everyone has a closet big enough to store 520 rolls of toilet paper. And if it's food that you're buying, you gotta think about how much you'll be able to consume before it goes bad. You don't wanna end up throwing out half of what you buy because that's, pretty much the opposite of frugal. Like if you're a single guy, you probably shouldn't be buying an entire case of bacon-wrapped turduckens from Costco. In fact, you might not even want to buy one because 3 birds wrapped in a pig, no thanks. That's neither frugal nor appetizing. And even for my wife and I, we just live in an apartment. We don't have a large outdoor fridge. We don't even have a garage, and our pantry isn't even that big. So what am I gonna do with that 10-pound pillar of ground beef from Costco? The bottom line is, don't assume buying bulk is always gonna save you money. According to the article, studies have shown you end up spending more money than if you would just purchase the items you needed. So I'm agreeing with this one. Sam's Club and Costco can be a great way to save money, but they don't always make sense for everyone in every stage of life. Okay, next up: depriving yourself of something you enjoy. The article says you are not going to get rich by skipping the coffee line, period. But it's all about balance. Instead of buying coffee every day, maybe save it for Mondays when you need a little boost. Then you can look forward to it as a treat and not feel like you are missing out. I see what they're saying here, but I think this is a little more nuanced. Sometimes this is a good thing, but there are some seasons of life when sacrifice is necessary and it can actually be motivating. When there's a financial goal we're working towards, maybe paying off your credit card debt, and we're cutting back on our spending to an extreme level, it can actually feel pretty good to skip out on these little treats because you are literally showing and proving to yourself that you are serious about reaching your goals, and it can be that little kick you need to just keep going. I think the key here is to ask yourself, what's gonna help you reach your goal in this season of life? If it's the little treat that'll keep you going, fine. But it might be the act of giving up those little treats that really help you get there. And remember, on the other side of your season of sacrifice, that's the real treat yourself season. Cue Tom and Donna from Parks and Rec.
Clothes.
Treat yourself.
Fragrances.
Treat yourself.
Massages.
Treat yourself.
Mimosas.
Treat yourself.
Fine leather goods.
Treat yourself.
Okay, the next frugal habit on the list, changing your own oil. The article says changing your own oil is a great example of a frugal habit that doesn't really benefit you in the long run. It is time consuming, you must purchase and eventually store all the equipment needed, and you have to dispose of the old oil, and you can ruin your clothing, all to save a few bucks. Look, changing your oil is completely fine. If you know how to do it, and you have the space for it, go for it. It can really save you money. Like if I had a garage, I would probably be doing this, but I don't. So I just get my oil changed at Walmart and then just decline all the wiper blades and air filters they try to upsell me. The article also says your time could be better spent elsewhere. Yeah, if you're gonna spend that 30 minutes on a successful e-commerce business, your time might be better spent doing that. But let's be honest, you're probably just gonna be watching Severance. Don't worry, I won't tell your innie. But getting a little elbow grease and changing your oil might be the best use of your time anyway. All right, the next frugal habit that they say might end up hurting more than helping is DIYing your home improvements. The article says, if not done correctly, doing your own home upgrades can end up costing you more than what you bargained for. There is a reason an expert costs more to get the job done. They usually do good work in a timely manner and more importantly, right the first time. The money you saved by doing it yourself could get squandered away when an issue with your work arises months later. Okay, I'm gonna disagree with this one. Sort of. If it's small home repairs we're talking about here, there's value in doing it yourself. And if you're up for the challenge, why not try it? There are so many step-by-step DIY repair videos on YouTube, even for oddly specific things. And we have access to all this knowledge, so you might as well put it to good use. Plus, I just like to do some good old-fashioned manual labor. It's nice to do something physical and productive, and it honestly can feel meditative. And as a human, it's super satisfying when I can save a couple $100 by watching a YouTube video that some guy named Gary made in his garage. But if you do have a complicated home project, it's totally fine to get some help and to pay someone to do it. Yes, cost is something to consider, but you also got to think about the stress and inconvenience it would cause for you and your family if you tried to do something complicated, like remodeling your entire bathroom, or in the case of my dad and I, we once tried to do the plumbing in one of our showers. Whew. That was rough. We ended up buying the wrong piece that didn't fit our like certain, I don't know, tubing or whatever. We bought the wrong piece twice, okay? And this ended up turning a 2-hour project into a 2-week thing when we really should have just hired someone in the beginning. So if you lack the knowledge and the tools and the time and the desire, you don't need to feel bad about bringing in the pros as long as it's in your budget. Make sure you have enough money on hand to cover the cost of repair or renovation without having to put it on a credit card or by taking out a loan. You don't want to look up 5 years from now and realizing you're still paying for your new bidet. Well, not so new bidet. So that right there is my take on the 7 frugal habits that aren't actually good for your finances. Turns out some of them aren't so bad after all. Let me know in the comments if you've ever tried something to save money and it ended up costing you more. I'd love to hear about it. And check out this next video for 14 frugal habits that really can save you money. Give it a click and I'll see you guys over there. Peace.